No, this is our fifth Power Talk for this year. The topic is on Save for Pay, which is on remuneration. Now, this will follow through from our third Power Talk, which we had, I think, in March this year. It is, again, a very apt and hot topic still for a lot of us. So we do actually want to advocate on these sort of topics.
So when it comes to compensation then, and particularly board and executive pay, few, again, themes that are dominating the conversation. Number one, transparency through disclosures. Almost every jurisdiction you look at, its companies, listed companies in particular, are disclosing more and more details around compensation. A few years ago, even in our neighbors in Singapore, a few years ago, all that companies disclosed was the aggregate for the top 5 executives. Today, they're disclosing it in bands of 250,000, as is mandated by the Corporate Governance Code. I'm pretty sure the next wave will be they'll start disclosing it individually. When it comes to non-executive director fees, very intentionally, we, Willis, Watson and ICDM, we refer to it as fees, not compensation. And there's a subtle yet important difference. Fees are paid for the time and responsibility. Compensation is paid for the performance and managing risk. Right? So executives should receive performance-based incentives. Corporate governance experts and theorists would say non-executive directors should not. Because the role of a non-executive director is a steward. He or she and the board are guiding management. They should get paid the same irrespective of good performance or bad performance.
You need shareholders to be activists in order to provide check and balance, not only in the area of remuneration, but also in terms of succession planning. We have one bank with the average board 70 over years. That is too old board. So it needs shareholders to raise this at the AGM. Look here, we know that you are doing well, no doubt, but how about your succession planning?
This is not uncommon where a new government will take a view that we need to curb pay, we need to curb executive compensation. My counsel to the companies would be to look at what are the actual components of compensation. Because, and I'll answer this in two parts. First, I agree with Leah that if your pay levels are too low and you're not competitive in an international stage, you may see a sort of brain drain where top talent actually leaves Malaysia and goes to other countries because they're getting paid better and more competitive in those markets. And that's, of course, not ideal for Malaysia, not ideal for Malaysian GLCs. We actually need some of our biggest and brightest people in these executive roles. Of course, we're not going to pay them the same as we do in US, UK, because a big part of why they would join a GLC is also part of nation building, right? Giving back to the community, giving back to the nation. So by no means should the pay levels at GLCs need to be competitive with the US, UK counterparts, but they at least need to be competitive that the individual can sustain a reasonable lifestyle.